Hey folks, happy Thanksgiving. Another day, another unboxing. And yes, this looks familiar, almost exactly the same box as the OnePlus 5, but this is the OnePlus 5T. 1. I don't know, 1.7, 1.9, I don't know. Anyway, so I just got this morning. As you know, I was out of town for a few weeks for business and for personal vacation reasons. I'm back, so this was waiting for me. Obviously, I'm a little behind there, but hey, that's the perils of travels and all that good stuff. OnePlus 5T in the house, so let's go ahead and unbox this guy. Let me show you the box. This is how you know it's the T and not the regular version. And the rest is pretty much what you'd expect from a OnePlus box. There's a bunch of stuff in the back here. This is a 128 gigabyte midnight black, so I assume it has 8 gigs of RAM. Anyway, exciting. So let's open this up, shall we? Dun 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 dun. Boom! Look at that beautiful beast. Let's pull it up and have a look at it. Ooh, shiny fingerprint reader in the back here. You can see the camera pod is clearly more pronounced. And there's a whole bunch of stuff. So let's move this sticker back. Are you ready? Nah, not very good sound, this one. I'm going to also remove this IMA sticker while I'm at it so we can continue. There we go. Alright, in the front is that big change, which is the edge-to-edge almost full screen 18:9 aspect ratio display, as you can see here. There is a screen protector on there. I'm going to remove it. I'm not a big fan of screen protectors. You ready? It's not very loud, this one. I was expecting it to be a little bit more, I don't know, more something. So there you go. Alright, so let's look at the phone in a minute and see what else is in the box here. And I'm also going to compare it really quick to the OnePlus 5 so you guys have an idea what's changed. There's a little separator here as usual. I believe it opens from the bottom. And inside here is a little payload of goodness. Oh, look at that. It comes with a clear case. And that's all there is in the box here, as you can see. So, clear case, SIM removal tool right here. Quick start guide. This is the same kind of setup we saw with the OnePlus 5 last spring. I'll link to my OnePlus 5 unboxing video. You know, it tells you in multiple languages where all the controls are, how everything works. There you go. And then does the same again in the back. So, that's pretty cool. I like how well and nicely packaged these phones are from OnePlus. And then here you've got, as I said, the SIM removal tool. And I think there's a safety information booklet here. Let me see if I can get it out. Woo! Everything's falling apart in my hands. Whoa! Okay. So, safety information booklet, you know, blah, 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 who cares? And then there's like a sticker here, I think. Yeah, the Never Settle OnePlus sticker, shot on OnePlus sticker, all that good stuff. And then, as I said, SIM removal tool right here. That's it. I mean, case. And it's a kind of a smoked translucent case, interesting. And then, of course, at the bottom of the case, we've got, you know, the dash charger. This is the same charger that has been included since the OnePlus 3, OnePlus 3T, OnePlus 5, and now OnePlus 5T. It's a proprietary technology. It requires a special cable and a special charger to charge. You can still charge slower with a regular USB Type-C cable. As you can see, it's USB Type-C on one end and USB-A on the other. But that little red marks it as a special OnePlus cable. And so if you don't use this cable with this charger, you don't get the fast charge. If you use this cable with another charger, you don't get the fast charge. You pretty much have to use the combo of the two to get the fast charge. But it's a nice adapter. It's not too big. I can get it out. You can see it here. It's not a bad. It's nice, okay, and it's got like a little red color matched thing inside. Nice, nice, nice. So that's what's in the box, guys. That's it. We've got you know, a case, a charger, a cable, a SIM removal tool, and some little things here, instructions, whatever you want to call it. So that's it. Boom, put it all back. Ta-da! All right, let's talk about the phone. Put this stuff away. Phone. All right, well, at first sight, it looks like a OnePlus phone. Pretty much looks like a OnePlus 5, in fact, other than the no fingerprint reader down here. And then here's a OnePlus 5, so you can compare. And this is you notice there's some differences other than the fingerprint reader, and that's the size. So the OnePlus 5T is a little taller. You can see a difference in height there. And then, you know, maybe it's narrower, wider, I'm not sure. Let's have a look. So that's about the same. It's about the same width. OnePlus 5 on top, OnePlus 5T on the bottom. You definitely see the difference in camera bumps here. You see the camera bump on the 5, which is left of me, 5T, is protrudes more than the camera bump on the 5. Kind of see it well there. So that's one of the drawbacks, because the screen takes up more space in the front, so the camera had to be pushed back a little bit, because in this phone, the camera kind of fits into the space where there's no screen here. Other than that, as you can see, thickness, very similar. I mean, these are very similar phones. There's a little difference in height, but you can see the controls are all in the same place. Power lock key here, SIM slot here. Again, the OnePlus 5T is on the bottom, the 5 is on top. You can see same layout here with speaker. You've got USB-C and headphone. Again, 5T at the bottom, 5 on top, and nothing on the top other than, well, not even a microphone. Interesting. And then let's see on this side, you've got the key that slides to select whether you want, you know, do not disturb, silent, or notifications on, and then the volume rocker. So yeah, I mean, really very little difference here. Let's turn them on. Obviously, the display is all the story here, right? So hopefully it's charged enough. There you go. And this one, I'm just going to unlock it so you can have a look. This is the 5 here on the right and the 5T on the left, and there's some dirt here. So it's just starting up, and you can see very clearly here, if I bring up the notification tray, sorry, I need to probably bring up an app or something that fills up the whole screen, but you can see that there's a lot more screen, a lot more display there. Let's see if I can find an app, maybe the settings. No, I guess I have this set up to be a black bar. Maybe I can change that in the settings real quick. Let's see. I just want to show you the, let's see. Can you change the color of the home buttons? I guess not. I can turn off the buttons. That way you can see, let's see, on-screen navigation bar. So there you go. Now you can really see the difference in screen size, right? That's a lot more real estate. I mean, that's kind of brilliant. And I'm really excited. To me, you know, in a way, that's what the OnePlus 5 should have been this year, because this is, once you start using this form factor, this 18:9 edgeless, whatever you want to call it, low bezel, thin bezel kind of phone, you don't want to go back. And you know, the HTC 11 has the same problem, and that's why the U11 Plus came out, and now we got the OnePlus 5 and OnePlus 5T, you know, kind of fixing that for both of these phones. It's kind of interesting that these manufacturers are, you know, coming out with new flagships to kind of address this thing, because I think it's needed. I think people want it. I want it. after using the G6, which was the first phone with a widescreen, ultra widescreen, and a small bezel top and bottom, I didn't want to go back. You know, you can't see it here, but as you can see, there's a notification bar up here with the battery status that's a little black. But so there's actually some screen up here. You can see it, right? And then at the bottom, it's, this is great. So the other thing to discuss real quick is these are identical phones in many ways. They are both Snapdragon 835, 8 gigs of RAM, 128 gigs of storage, no micro SD card expansion, headphone jack. The fingerprint readers on the front, on the 5, on the back, on the 5T. Here's what they look like. And so the cameras look identical, but they're actually quite different. And this is a very puzzling kind of decision that, I have to admit that OnePlus made. And I'm going to explain it a little bit because I'm, a camera buff. Photography matters to me a lot. So it's a little dusty here, but on the OnePlus 5, what they did was have basically the iPhone 7, 6S, whatever, 7 I think was the first one. The iPhone 7, iPhone 8. God, so much dust on this camera lens. Let me just clean that real quick. Jesus. There we go. That's better. So they did the same setup as Apple, where you have a regular lens on one side and a telephoto on the other. And the f/1.7 16 megapixel camera was the one, I think either on the left or the right, but was the main camera. And then you had a telephoto, which had a lower f-stop, like f/2.2 or 2.4, I can't remember. No OIS on either. And, 2 times zoom. That's what they did last time. And so it enabled portrait mode and a bunch of other features. But they've changed that on the OnePlus 5T. So on the 5T, what you have here is a completely different setup. You have 2 f/1.7 lenses, not telephoto. Like, both are wide angle. You've got a 16 megapixel and a 20 megapixel. And so the 16, they're both f/1.7, no OIS again, which I think is a mistake. And so the idea is that you can do portrait mode, of course, but the 20 megapixel is used in extreme low light, below 10 lux, which is really low light. And it doesn't actually output 20 megapixels. It bins the pixels into 4x4 arrays to get better noise reduction. This is a technique that was used by Nokia on the PureView phones and has been used by Google on the Pixels and a bunch of others. Basically, pixel binning gives you better quality in low light, better noise reduction, and with an f/1.7 lens, this should be pretty good. But I don't get it. To me, this seems counterintuitive because yes, you can do portrait mode, but that's the only advantage you get, because you can do the same as this dual camera setup if you just put OIS on the main camera. And then you can actually hold the shutter open longer in low light and get probably very similar results. So I'm really puzzled by this decision, and the lack of telephoto, of course, is going to be an issue because, telephoto was, I think, pretty interesting. Even though it's not my first choice, I personally think that the LG setup with an ultra wide angle and a regular wide angle is the way to go. Or the monochrome setup that Huawei has is a really good way to go as well. Monochrome on one lens, regular on the other. And this would be cool if they use them together for better dynamic range and regular light, but this is only used, the extreme, like the second camera is only used for extreme low light and for portrait mode right now, which is not used for like improving dynamic range and regular light or anything like that. So very puzzling decision on OnePlus's part here. But maybe it'll perform better than the OnePlus 5. We'll see. I mean, personally, the OnePlus 5, just like the Essential phone and the Moto Z2 Force, are kind of not hitting the mark in terms of camera performance for a flagship. And I'm hoping this resolves some of that with the OnePlus 5T, because that was kind of the Achilles heel of this phone. In every other way, I mean, for $500, this is a beautiful phone. Look at this thing. Beautiful viewing angles. Like, I think this is an OLED panel, but I'm not sure. It's an OLED panel made by Samsung, I believe. I mean, great display. Ultra wide angle, 18:9. We've got fingerprint back in the fingerprint reader back in the back. Back in the back? Yeah, I guess. I don't know if OnePlus ever had it in the back, but I've always liked it in the back. I prefer it in the back, so this is a great place to have it. And then, all the same specs. Snapdragon 835, 8 gigs of RAM, 128 gigs of storage, all that good stuff. So it's definitely a welcome improvement of the 5. Sorry, I've got some stuff stuck to my finger here on this side. Whether that's, worth your time, your money, if you've already spent money on a 5, I don't know. But I think if you're looking for the holiday season, a phone that costs half the price of other flagships and still is a flagship, the 5T is your choice. I mean, look at this thing. It's beautiful, right? So yeah, the camera bump is definitely more pronounced, and that's a bit of a bummer because it means that it's going to scratch up more. And even in a case now, it might protrude. I mean, there's a whole bunch of issues here. But still has headphone jack. That's great. I give you the tour. So yeah, anyway. I need to roll. I got a podcast to record here, so we're going to talk all about the OnePlus 5T on the podcast, so stay tuned for that. Remember, these videos are a supplement to my podcast. It's to show you the device I discuss on the podcast. Go to mobiletechpodcast.com and subscribe to the podcast. If you go to that link, you'll find the RSS feed and all that. You can find us on iTunes. You can find us on Pocket Casts. All the places where a good podcast should be. Mobile Tech Podcast with me, Tank Girl, aka Miriam Joire. Subscribe to this channel and thumbs up this video so that I can get a little bit more love on YouTube as well. And stay tuned for the next unboxing video. All right, folks, cheers and enjoy the rest of your Thanksgiving weekend. Bye-bye.